Welcome into First and Final Thoughts, one of our weekly columns with a title that's a little too on the nose. Here we'll have Insider J.J Stankevitz, producer Cam Ellis, and a rotating cast of NBC Sports Chicago's Bears team give some insight into what's on their minds between games. Final thoughts on Week 4. J.J. Stankevitz: We already knew the Bears had a playoff-caliber defense before Sunday, but what we saw from Mitch Trubisky and the offense is exactly why the Bears hired Matt Nagy, to get them a playoff-caliber offense, too. Trubisky made a ton of excellent throws, not only hitting open guys downfield but throwing some of his receivers open, too, like Allen Robinson's touchdown. He won't throw 6 touchdowns and be effectively perfect every game from here on out, obviously, but what we saw from Trubisky and the entire offense was awfully encouraging. One final thought: if the Bears' offensive line plays as well as it did Sunday the rest of the season, this offense is in great shape. Cam Ellis: I love hype trains. I really do. Being a prisoner of the moment might not be the smartest way to digest sports, but it's unquestionably the most enjoyable. Just ask Chiefs fans right now. So, when Mitch Trubisky throws 6 TDs and over 300 yards, I was ready to get locked up in that moment for 25 life. With that said, I just can't. Nothing should be taken away from Trubisky. He made smarter reads, looked in command of the offense, and hit the open receivers. But that's just the thing, they were open receivers. Like, they were open receivers. I have not watched a team play pass coverage that poorly in quite some time. If this is how Trubisky plays under the new, stripped-down, offensive game plan, I'm all for it. Let's just wait and see a few more games before we declare anything one way or the other. First thoughts on the bye week. J.J. Stankevitz: This is actually 2 thoughts on if the early off week, it's not a bye week, it's an off week, as colleague John Moon Mullins adamantly emphasizes, is a good or a bad thing for the Bears. It's good in the sense that a first-year coach can have an opportunity to do some self-scouting after 1/4 of the season and continue to devise ways for this offense to be effective starting in Week 6. While the Bears are relatively healthy, getting an off week for cornerback Prince Amukamara, hamstring, and wide receiver Anthony Miller, shoulder, to recover is beneficial for them, missing as few games as possible. The downside is what tight end Trey Burton brought up after Sunday's game: the Bears are 3-1 and have momentum on their side, and then have to take a week off. Burton pointed to the 2016 Philadelphia Eagles, a team on which he played, as the downside of having an early off week. That team started 3-0, then had Week 4 off and lost that momentum, losing 4 of their next 5 games and going on a 5-game losing streak toward the end of the season. Teams usually like later off weeks to get players as healthy and fresh as possible for the grind of the second half. When the Bears return, they'll play 12 games without a break. Even beyond that, after a 48-10 win, getting back and playing a week later could have been a good thing. Cam Ellis: The next month is the Bears' best chance at piling up some wins. In a weird scheduling twist, the next 4 games are all isn't the AFC East. Outside the Patriots, the AFC East is extremely not good. The Dolphins' 3-1 record looks better than they probably are, the Jets are a mess, and the Bills are a mess, in a dumpster, on fire. That's not to say that the Bears won't be competitive in the divisional games during November and December, even with a scary-looking date with the Rams looming, but if they're really the class of the NFC North, you have to beat the Miamis, Jets, and Bills of the world. The early bye week is a bummer, and a 3 games in 15 days stretch in November is going to test their depth mightily. With an arduous second half coming up, the sum of these early season games take on a heightened importance, if such a thing exists in a 16-game schedule. The first time Chase Daniel trotted out to line up next to Mitch Trubisky, which elicited plenty of or more profane reactions from the crowd at Soldier Field, we didn't get to see exactly what bizarreness Matt Nagy had concocted. Kyle Long was guilty of a false start on that play, which came early in the second quarter with the Bears facing a 1st and goal from the 4-yard line. Trubisky found Tariq Cohen for a 9-yard touchdown on the next play, but Nagy wasn't ready to punt that strange look just yet. Chase couldn't get his helmet on soon enough to get in there, Nagy said. And I know Kyle wasn't going to hear the end of it if we didn't get a second shot at it, added Daniel. We were trying to run it the first time and false started, and right when I came off the field, Nagy said we're coming right back to it. So the next time the Bears got to the right distance from the goal line, about 7 minutes of game time later in the second quarter, out again came Daniel to line up next to Trubisky. The play was called Willy Wonka, which came from a collective brainstorming session in the Bears quarterback room. When you can just go ahead and give it a two-word name, they remember that, Nagy said. You can sit there and say, squeeze left, Y left, zebra right, counter motion, such and such, then you look up at the play clock and there's 14 seconds on it. But you go, Willy Wonka, and boom, they know it, they remember it. It's crazy how they think, but it works, and when you give them ownership on that kind of stuff, it's fun for them. So how did this play actually work? Let's have some fun breaking down Willy Wonka. First, Taylor Gabriel, blue arrow, and Trey Burton, red arrow, go in motion pre-snap, which is meant to confuse the Buccaneers defense. Pic.twitter.com/PamOshakit, J.J Stankevitz, at J.J Stankevitz, October 2nd, 2018. First, Taylor Gabriel, blue arrow, comes in motion from the far sideline and lines up between wide receiver Kevin White and left tackle Charles Leno, about 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Then, Trey Burton, red arrow, comes in motion from the far sideline, stops behind Gabriel, and runs back across the offensive line to get set between right tackle Bobby Massey and wide receiver Allen Robinson. There's two quarterbacks. You got me going in motion, you have Trey going in motion. It's just a lot of things going on, Gabriel said. Second, by the time Gabriel catches the pop pass from Trubisky, who fakes his own read to Daniel only after getting the ball to the WR, he's already fully accelerating to the far sideline. CBMJ, Stuart White arrow, is slow to pick this up. Pic.twitter.com/VMWAG13M, J.J Stankevitz, at J.J Stankevitz, October 2nd, 2018. Trubisky completes what's essentially a touch pass to Gabriel. He barely has the ball for a half second before popping it to the wide receiver, who's quickly accelerating to the far sideline as he catches the ball. In the yellow circle, 3 Tampa Bay defenders are surrounding White while cornerback M.J. Stuart White arrow is slow to read the play. Burton, red circle, seals off defensive end Vinny Curry, while Robinson, green arrow, moves toward engaging cornerback Brent Grimes. Meanwhile, Trubisky fakes his own red mesh point with Daniel only after he's flipped the ball to Gabriel. There was a lot of confusion on the other side of the ball, Daniel said. Alternate view. Allen Robinson, green arrow, is sizing up CB Brent Grimes, who he'll solidly block to really make this play work. Also, in the yellow circle, 3 terabytes defenders surround Kevin White. Pic.twitter.com/ByesVowerp, J.J Stankevitz, at J.J Stankevitz, October 2nd, 2018. The alternate viewpoint shows just how rooted Stewart's feet were when the pass was made. Already depleted and scrambled Tampa Bay defense was going to have a tough time stopping this play, so in that sense, it was an ideal time to use it. Just the misdirection and all the motion, it kind of confuses the defense a little bit, Gabriel said. And I think that's what happened. They kind of got confused and then I came out scot-free open and got the touchdown. Robinson delivers a strong block on Grimes, and when Gabriel plants and cuts inside, Stewart is too late getting there and can only shoulder bump the Bears receiver as he goes into the end zone for a touchdown. You can see Robinson's excellent block in the green circle. Gabriel cuts inside, and Stewart is too late getting to him, only throwing a shoulder into the Pic.twitter.com/Pixtc780, J.J Stankevitz, at J.J Stankevitz, October 2nd, 2018. Robinson delivers a strong block on Grimes, and Stewart is too late getting to Gabriel when the Bears receiver cuts inside. Stewart can only shoulder bump Gabriel as he easily gets into the end zone for a touchdown. I think that's why it opened up so much, because they know about Daniel's run ability and his break tackles and spin moves, Trubisky said. Just the running threat he brings to the offense. But that was a really fun play that we had in practice. Chase was a big part of coming up with it, and it opened right up just the way we drew it up. ******. Quarterbacks coach Dave Ragone said Nagy was the one who came up with the concept for the play. His mind can go a little with being creative, which was awesome, he said. While Daniel and the Bears' other quarterbacks had input on how it was schemed, named and executed, there is, of course, a method to Nagy's madness here. Using a play that has two quarterbacks on the field at the same time is unorthodox, but Gabriel said there wasn't a lack of trust from players when Willy Wonka was called. Instead, it was the opposite. The thought was, if Nagy is willing to call this play, he trusts us to execute it. I believe in him, and he believes in us, Gabriel said. Just the swag, he added when asked why he liked the play call. The confidence in us to go through with those type of formations and schemes. That's what you get when you get Coach Nagy, just the swag and confidence, but for as cool, or fascinating, or bizarre, whatever adjective you want to use, as this play was, Nagy was still sticking his neck out a bit in calling it. Fox's television broadcast of the game ripped the play call when it was first used, after Long was flagged for the false start. For example, when they work, they're awesome, Nagy said. When they don't work, they're not too awesome. Through the first 4 games of this season, there hadn't been a lot of power ranking movement when it came to the Bears. They were winning games, but it wasn't super convincing, and when your biggest concern through 25% of the season is your franchise quarterback, people are going to be skeptical. The best cure for apathy. To stay, try throwing 6 TDs and throttling Tampa Bay by 38 points. That opened some people's eyes, and the power rankings that come rolling in this week are reflecting that. Here's what they're saying: ours. No, not the new monsters of the Midway making the visiting Bucks look silly, rather, it was their sophomore quarterback throwing for 354 yards and 6 touchdowns. Mitch Trubisky's performance was legit. SB Nation. The win. Let's pump the brakes a little on the Bears hype train. Bleacher Report. USA Today. Sporting News. Matt Nagy has them legitimately in the NFC hunt, 1 quarter away from being perfect. Yahoo Sports. I'm not expecting the Bears to win all 4, but it's not entirely crazy either. Fansided.